The night rain poured over the city like an endless sorrow, washing away laughter, lights, and even hope. Inside a small roadside diner, under the dull hum of flickering neon, a young waitress named Emma wiped the counter for what felt like the 1,000th time. Her hands were tired, her uniform smelled faintly of coffee and bleach, and yet her smile never left her face. Behind that gentle curve of her lips was a story of silent endurance, one that no customer ever saw. She worked double shifts not for dreams of luxury, but simply to keep her ailing mother's treatment going and her younger brother in school. Life, for Emma, was a long tunnel with no light at the end. But that night, as thunder rumbled outside and the diner's door swung open, everything changed. A tall man entered, drenched from the storm, wearing an expensive suit that clung to his shoulders. His eyes, sharp yet hollow, searched the room as if he'd lost something precious. His name was Alexander Reed, a billionaire known in headlines but broken in heart. His little daughter, Lily, was fighting a rare illness, one that medicine alone couldn't seem to heal, and tonight desperation had driven him not to a hospital, but into the small, glowing warmth of Emma's diner. He sat silently in the corner booth, his hands trembling as he stared into a cup of untouched coffee. Emma approached with her kind, habitual smile, asking softly if he needed anything else. When their eyes met, something flickered, like recognition, though they'd never met before. And then, after a moment of silence heavy enough to break a heart, Alexander whispered the strangest, most desperate words she'd ever heard. "Marry me. For just 1 week, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the mysterious ways fate connects strangers, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This story might just remind someone out there that miracles still happen." Emma froze. She thought it was a joke, maybe some cruel test from a rich man who'd had too much to drink. But when Alexander slid a photograph across the table, her breath caught in her throat. It was a picture of a little girl, thin, pale, with a sweet smile and eyes too wise for her age. "My daughter, Lily," he said hoarsely. "She hasn't spoken in months. She's losing hope. She misses her mother. She passed away last year. Before she stopped talking, she told me her only wish was to see her parents together one more time. She believes her mother is still out there, waiting to come home." He took a shaky breath and continued, "You look exactly like her. Same eyes, same warmth. When I saw you, I thought maybe for a moment you could be her miracle. Just 1 week, pretend to be my wife, be her mother, just until she's strong enough to fight again." Emma's heart twisted. Every word he spoke trembled with pain and love, the kind only a parent could feel. She wanted to refuse, to laugh it off, but when she saw his trembling hands and tear-streaked face, she couldn't. She had seen loss before, she had seen despair, and she knew deep down that this man was not lying. Still, she hesitated. She was just a waitress. She had bills, a sick mother, a life built on surviving, not pretending. But Alexander's offer came with something she couldn't ignore. He promised to pay for her mother's full treatment, every penny of it. All she had to do was bring light to a dying child's eyes for 1 week. And so, the next morning, Emma found herself standing in front of a mansion that looked like something from another world. Her thrift store shoes felt out of place against the marble floors. The staff bowed, calling her Mrs. Reed, and every time they did, she felt a pang of guilt. But when she finally met Lily, tiny, fragile, her small head wrapped in a soft scarf, everything inside Emma softened. Lily looked at her for a long moment, then whispered, "Mommy." That single word broke Emma's heart. From that day, Emma became part of a world she'd never imagined. She read stories to Lily by the window, braided her hair, cooked pancakes that were too sweet, but made Lily giggle. Alexander watched from the doorway sometimes, silently. He'd built empires, earned billions, but he'd never looked as lost as he did when watching his daughter laugh again. For the first time in months, Lily began to eat. Her laughter echoed through the halls. Doctors said her progress was unexplainable, but Alexander knew it wasn't medicine healing her. It was love, even if it was borrowed. And Emma, she too began to change. She'd always believed she was invisible to the world, just a background character in other people's stories. But here, in this house, a child looked at her like she was everything. And when Alexander smiled at her, tired but grateful, she felt warmth she hadn't known she was capable of feeling. But as the weeks slipped by, the line between truth and pretend began to blur. Every morning, Lily would wake up and ask, "Will you be here forever, Mommy?" And every night when Emma tucked her in, she'd whisper back, "Always," even though her heart knew it was a lie. By the sixth day, Alexander could no longer look at her without feeling his chest tighten. What started as desperation had become something deeper. He admired the way she talked, the quiet courage in her eyes, the way she treated Lily, not like an act, but like genuine love. And yet, he knew their time was running out. On the final evening, the three of them watched the sunset together. Lily lay asleep in Emma's lap, her small hand clutching her mother's locket. Alexander turned to Emma, his voice low, trembling. "You've given us more than you'll ever understand. If she recovers, it'll be because of you. But after tomorrow, I don't know how to let you go." Tears filled Emma's eyes. "This was never real, Alexander. It can't be." But even as she said it, her heart rebelled. Because somewhere between the laughter, the late-night stories, and Lily's tiny arms around her neck, she'd fallen. Not for the mansion or the money, but for the broken man who had risked his pride to save his daughter. That night, Emma packed her things quietly. Before leaving, she went to Lily's room. The little girl stirred, half asleep, and whispered, "Mommy, will you be here tomorrow?" Emma brushed her cheek softly. "Always in your heart, sweetheart." Then she walked away before the truth could destroy her resolve. The next morning, Alexander found her gone. On the bed was a note written in neat, trembling handwriting. "Thank you for letting me be part of your world. I hope Lily grows strong and that you both find peace. Tell her her mommy loves her, always." Alexander's chest ached as he read it. He had everything money could buy, but for the first time he realized the only thing he truly wanted was something it couldn't: Emma's heart. Weeks passed. Lily's condition miraculously improved. She was stronger, smiling again, drawing pictures of her family, her dad, her mom, and a big yellow sun above them. Every time Alexander saw those drawings, he felt both joy and heartbreak. He had promised himself he wouldn't chase Emma, that maybe she deserved a simple life far from his complicated world. But fate, as always, had other plans. One chilly afternoon, Alexander took Lily to a small community park, the kind with rusty swings and the smell of popcorn in the air. Lily ran ahead, chasing butterflies, when she suddenly froze and shouted, "Mommy!" There, near the flower stall, stood Emma. Her uniform was gone, replaced by a plain blue dress. Her hair was loose, glinting in the sunlight. She looked startled, unsure whether to run or stay. But before she could decide, Lily ran to her and wrapped her arms around her waist. "Mommy, I told Daddy you'd come back," the little girl said, beaming. Emma bent down, tears in her eyes. "I missed you so much, sweetheart." When she looked up, Alexander was standing a few feet away, his expression unreadable. Slowly, he walked closer. "I thought I'd lost you," he said softly. "But maybe we were both just too afraid to admit we'd found something real." Emma shook her head. "You don't need me anymore, Alexander. Lily's strong now, you did it." He took her hands gently. "No, we did it. And I don't want 1 week, I want forever, if you'll have me." For a long moment, Emma couldn't speak. The world around her blurred, and all she could hear was the laughter of the child who'd unknowingly bound their souls together. Then, slowly, she smiled. The same smile that had once lit up a lonely diner on a rainy night. "Forever," she whispered. And just like that, the storm that had started their story finally broke into sunlight. Weeks later, the mansion that once echoed with silence was alive with laughter. Lily ran through the halls, her hair growing back, her giggles bouncing off the walls. Emma cooked breakfast in the kitchen, teasing Alexander for burning toast, and he just laughed, something he hadn't done in years. Every night when Lily went to bed, she'd ask, "Mommy, can we stay like this forever?" And this time, Emma could finally answer with truth in her voice. "Yes, sweetheart, forever." Because love, it turned out, didn't always arrive wrapped in perfection. Sometimes it came soaked in rain, dressed in a waitress's uniform, carrying a heart that knew pain but still believed in miracles. And sometimes, all it took to heal the deepest wounds was a week that turned into a lifetime. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope, love, and second chances to life. Special request, comment below. Would you say yes to love if it came to you in the most unexpected way?